So Fermanagh have beaten Cavan by 15 points to 14, and I'm delighted to be joined here by John McMahon from the JMac Podcast for this match reaction after the game. Obviously, after Fermanagh have won this game, of course, at Brewster Park. John, as a Cavan man yourself, I mean, what's your thoughts on the game?
Hi, Aaron. Glad to be on your show again. It's very disappointing, I suppose. It's probably, you just didn't really expect and see that coming. We really would have been putting a lot of emphasis on to win that one. I think the general consensus going into it, we would have been really coasting home to victory by 3 or 4 points. Very disappointed start. Fermanagh, as I was saying off air to you, were absolutely brilliant. Sean Quigley was fantastic, to his credit. He was unplayable for large parts of that game, and they fully deserved the victory. It's a bitter pill probably to swallow for the Cavan lads after such a good year last year. And no one really expected it, Aaron. And fair play for Fermanagh, because it's probably the biggest upset of the weekend so far.
Yeah, so far, anyways, definitely a big shocker, right? Because I suppose you had Sean Quigley obviously on your podcast before. Like, I mean, what a performance that was from him. I mean, he hit 9 points in total in the game. And obviously, look, listen, he wasn't there last year. He was coming back into the team, but it doesn't often happen where players come back into a team and hit the ground running. But he, really did, and that was a top class performance altogether.
Absolutely brilliant. I was there unplayable. And like, for a fella that was probably doubting his, inclusion in the Fermanagh team this year, and he was 50-50 when I was talking to him, and he was unbelievable tonight. He was just smart on the ball. He nailed basically every free. The free at the end was tremendous. He was just absolutely brilliant. He looks like he's got himself into great shape, and fair play to him. He was unbelievable, and we just didn't really have any answers to the questions he was asking. And he led the Fermanagh lads to victory tonight, and he can be very proud of himself.
Yeah, no, it definitely was a top class performance, and even I suppose in the first half, even it was definitely a strange one in many ways, because it seemed like Cavan, for whatever reason, didn't seem to come out with that same intensity maybe that they had at the end of the Ulster Championship win last year. And look, it is the first game, so maybe they're just a little bit rustier getting up to speed. But what do you even put it down to yourself? Because certainly in the first half, and even in the second half as well, like there was a lot of wides towards the end of the game there, a few uncharacteristic misses from frees and whatnot. Like, even though Fermanagh won this game by a point, I still think it was there for you at different points there.
I know it definitely was. Like, and you even seen Fermanagh coming up in the attack, and they were missing very kickable points as well. Like, definitely at half time, I thought Mickey would have rallied the troops and got them out all guns blazing for the second half. Probably didn't agree with some of the substitutions. I think Paddy Lynch being taken off for Michael Argue came on, he done nothing. Lynch really should have been kept on. He kicked 4 points in the first half. I think that was a poor decision by Mickey and the lads. And it was just this disappointing stuff. Like, I know Fermanagh did park the bus, but we've so much experience playing against this blanket, and we were trying long range shooting. It wasn't working. I think at the end, I was watching some of the Cavan players. I think they were getting very nervous. We were doing stupid stuff, as you were saying, taking rash shots, taking wides. And it just turned out to be a poor performance with Cavan, and I think that's what it all boils down to. And Fermanagh were absolutely brilliant. The work rate was fantastic. The tackle, the numbers, and they just wanted a lot more than us, which I find fairly astonishing for a team that, as I said to you in previous podcasts, that needs promotion. And our hunger, desire, intensity compared to Fermanagh just wasn't there, unfortunately. And just a very lackluster performance by Cavan, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I suppose that red card at the end of the first half, James Smith picked up the red card. I mean, what was your thoughts on that? I'm going to be honest, I completely missed it, so I didn't see it. But yeah, he was sent off obviously, so that definitely had an impact on the game.
Definitely, and like I was looking at it, I couldn't believe my eyes. I thought it was Conor Brady, because like a lot of attention was going on him from Gowna, but it turned out it was James Smith, and it's just a lack of inexperience as well. He's 21 years of age. It was right in front of the referee as well, and a lot of people were probably shouting at the TV saying "walk or yap," because at the end of the day, he was in front of the ref. It was a stupid thing to do. He'll be kicking himself all week, and you wouldn't say he costs the game, but you can't go a man down against like a Fermanagh team at home. You're on the back foot straight away. Just a very annoying probably thing to watch on from, really. And you definitely need your 15 men against that Fermanagh performance. And it's unfortunate as well because James had a good year last year. He won a few games, done well in the Ulster Championship. Probably want to impress today, and unfortunately, he got the marching orders after a very silly mistake.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And I suppose, like you mentioned it there, like Patrick Lynch, obviously, like it was his senior debut, hit 4 points. I know he was taken off, and that was definitely a strange decision, I suppose, in many ways. But I suppose is that a positive, I suppose, in some ways that he did hit 4 points and he did look quite bright. And I suppose you do have potentially another forward in there if I suppose the rest of the other lads can get up to speed now for the rest of the league and championship as well.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said that, like I only found out Patrick Lynch was actually going to be involved in the Cavan team a couple of days ago. Brilliant inclusion, and I really think we should definitely give him as much chances as humanly possible. As I said a couple of minutes ago, we shouldn't have taken him off. I don't know what the crack was there. Michael Argy came on. He just looked like a lad that was just shot into full forward, and he didn't really offer us anything. At least if we were pumping balls in at the end, Lynch could have got on some, might have got a goal, could have got a couple of points. So to take him off, I couldn't really understand that. But he definitely is one for the future. He's a great player. He had a great club season for his club, Crush Law, last year in the championship. And he's a bright future ahead of him. But I hope we use him correctly. We give him the full 70 because he's a full 70 player. He's young, he's fresh, and we should definitely be nurturing him and looking after him, and definitely giving him a chance. He does deserve it because he is quality, as we've seen tonight. Kicks up left and right, big strong fella, and it's what Cavan have been looking for the last couple of years, Aaron.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it definitely was a strange one, all right, when Mickey took him off, because I think it was around the same time that Kieran Corrigan got that black card, I think, as well. And I think there was a real opportunity there for because they were down to 13 men there for the final 10 minutes. So I felt it was a real, I think that I can't remember what the score was. It might have been 1 point in at that stage, but there was definitely a real chance at that point anyway to kick on and win that game.
Yeah, that's it. And you have to be kind of surprised by the efficiency of that as well, because look, we're reigning Ulster champions, and we made some absolutely fantastic decisions on the field and off the field last year, and Mickey was brilliant. But that's just one decision that will haunt Mickey this week coming in, and even a couple of minutes after the game, because it was just a poor decision. We could have kicked on after the Fermanagh man got his marching orders. I don't know why the Fermanagh man went up and celebrated. Probably a lack of experience as well. Could have just kicked on, but it was just a poor decision to do. Michael Argue, I think he could have been. He left. He's been on and off Cavan panels. He hasn't really proved himself to Cavan senior team. He's good for the under-21s, but he hasn't really proven in senior anytime he got a chance. So a funny decision, one I didn't really guess, and unfortunately probably cost us the game, Aaron.
Yeah, and I suppose looking at the way, obviously with the way the league is this year, like a win is almost worth double in many ways, because you have much shorter games. And I suppose you had a huge win for Derry earlier over Longford. Longford, I suppose, your next opponents. I suppose a lot of pressure on that, because I suppose if you don't win that and then you've got Derry in the next game, I mean, a relegation playoff, I suppose, isn't too unrealistic at this stage.
That's exactly it, Aaron. And like I was saying to the folks I was watching the game with, it's only a 3-game league. It's not like it's a 7 games. It's not like a normal league. You need to win every single game. You need to win tonight to have any chance of going up. We didn't win. We have to be beating Longford, really. Like I'm not. It's not like alarm station straight away. It's a very winnable game, Longford. But then Derry, they will be mad to beat us as well. As I've said to you before, Conor Glass coming back from Australia, and Derry, big, strong physical team as well, probably like Fermanagh, if not better than Fermanagh. So that'll be a tough game. So we have to win next week. Really should have been winning today to give us a really good chance of going up. As you say, a relegation playoff is on the cards, and it might just be looking like we'll be staying in Division 3 at this stage, because, you just have to be winning that game tonight to really be giving yourself a sporting chance, Aaron,
Yeah, and as for Fermanagh, like, where do you think they'll finish now? I mean, I suppose they've Derry next, and that's definitely going to be a tough game, but I'd be surprised to see them get promoted. I think it'll be definitely tough for them, but I suppose them finishing in the top 2, I mean, it's not improbable now.
No, definitely not. And I think, look, if Sean Quigley can keep up that form, there's absolutely no reason why they can't fly it. Quigley has been very, very good when he put his heart and soul into Fermanagh cause over the years. He's been their star man. If they can look after him, keep him injury free, Fermanagh will have a great chance of even going up and even consolidate Division 3. But they'll definitely want to be trying to go up anyway after that great performance. They've bet us, or we're reigning Ulster champions, so why can't they go up? Look after Quigley. try keep a clean, full bill of health. Injury wise, there's no reason why they can't compete. They were brilliant tonight. The work rate was fantastic. Physically defended really well. And yeah, just it was an amazing performance by them. So the sky's the limit for them, I suppose, in this league campaign.
Yeah, absolutely. And I suppose no real complaints. I mean, Shawnee Quigley, man of the match, without doubt. I mean, 9 points. I mean, I suppose no arguments, no questions there, really.
Definitely not. Definitely not. It was probably the easiest decision all night. The one that probably makes most sense. He was fantastic. He was really, really good. Unplayable. Very smart. I didn't really think he had that kind of cuteness in his locker, picking passes, and he does. I didn't realize he had that good of a left foot. He does. So he could have a big year himself, Sean Quigley. He's a good character. Had him on, as you said, the podcast a few weeks ago. And as I said, for a man that was doubting his appearance in the Fermanagh team this year, he was absolutely brilliant. So man of the match by a mile.
Yeah, no, he's definitely proved his place. Well, look, listen, John, I'll link down JMac Podcast down below anyway, and cheers for coming on, for sharing your thoughts, I suppose, on the game. Best of luck, cheers, I suppose, Aaron. Next week now.
Yeah, I'm gonna cry myself to sleep tonight.